world right in Minneapolis. So, there's so many organizations right now. I know the one organization that people, if there's anybody online that want to donate, we love Lake Street. I know I'm not sure how far Kalliah is from Lake Street, but we love Lake Street. There's a donation board that is raising money to clean up, not only clean up, but hand money to those businesses that need extra work, need to get their businesses back on ground, from the riots and things like that. And another one that donation board for the North Side also, and I believe that's United North Side. I believe it's called United North Side, but they are doing the same thing as the Lake Street community, the South Side community. And the same thing, there's a bunch of drop-offs that people can do at different churches. I know Christ Church is taking a bunch of drop-offs. New Salem Baptist Church over on the north side is taking a bunch of drop-offs from people. Sanctuary Church is another church organization that's taking, and they're on the north side also. There's just a bunch of places you can just call and find out where people are dropping off goods and food goods and cleaning supplies and things like that. So it's just amazing to see people pulling together from one another. People are crying. Even though this is in the midst of a pandemic, this is what's, I'm hoping that, this ends, the pandemic part of it ends. I hope there's not a spike, but people needed hugs. People needed hugs. People needed, they don't need to have that 6 feet social distancing at this point because, again, people needed to cry. People needed to air their anger out in tears and in emotion, because if you don't have, I did a testing in college. If you don't have, a baby did not have any emotional touching, and that baby came up to be angry. It was an angry individual, because they didn't have a touch. They didn't have somebody holding the baby. They didn't have somebody caressing the baby. They didn't have the baby, he just cried all the time. And that baby turned up to be very angry. And once you don't have that interaction of people, touching and holding and hugging and being able to console each other, then it turns into something else. If you look at my live, I kept telling people, I love you, you know what I'm saying? And look at my face. I'm with you. When I was trying to get people off the bridge, I didn't want people to be angry and I didn't want people to be disturbed, but I was kind of killing them with softness, killing them with love, trying to get them off the bridge. And a lot of people listened to that because they needed that at that moment. They needed a peaceful touch. And so, even to just come in the neighborhood, if you're far away, just to, lend a helping hand and talk to people and things like that. If you believe in social distancing, then just talk. People need that in the neighborhood right now. So it's really good to see. It's amazing to see people coming together in love. So no matter what color you are, no matter what gender you are, it's amazing to see.
Absolutely. It's amazing how much it, like obviously when you do anything good, obviously it's, you feel good, obviously, but with the whole pandemic, everyone relatively is on edge, stressful. It's a stressful time, and now with this, it's even more stressful. And it just you can't help but be, we're under stress more than average, and whether you kind of admit it or not. And that's what I noticed when we went there. We were just planning on dropping off a couple of groceries and leaving, but we ended up volunteering for a couple hours. And man, just seeing all the smiling faces, and people helping, different ages, and that was just one small location out of many, like the resources that you mentioned. And when I came home, I was just amazed at how stress-free I felt. Because before you watch the news, you turn it off, you hear about it again, and you just so stressed out. When I came back, it was amazing how just stress-free. I wasn't content obviously with what was going on, but I just felt more, just stress-free, not just just scared or feared, and it was just felt amazing to. So if anyone lives somewhat nearby, even if you can just drop off or help sweep or do anything, to see all the smiling faces down there just really makes a huge difference, in my opinion.
Absolutely. This positivity, I gotta say it again, is so much more impactful and so much more powerful than any destruction that can be put on this community. I know. All of us, I've lived in Minneapolis for years, and I actually live just a few blocks away from where George lost his life, but we all see that video, and all of us, our stomach is just in knots, and you almost just want to curl into a ball. I completely fell apart when he was calling for his mom, because as a mom, and I think about my son, but just seeing the response that the community has had, just being there for each other, it's so incredibly powerful.
Absolutely.
And it's good, not good, but that they're doing that. There is a conscience. Can you imagine if it was the other way?
Yeah.
The community, I'm saying, not like, okay. I maybe, again, I'm talking from a different perspective in my life. For you guys, my people, that is what and seeing that all the time through social media videos. We're seeing that now. Yeah.
So let me ask, because I don't know a lot of the back and strategies of everything. There's so many, obviously, goals and everything. But I think one thing that I'm just more curious about, that I want to learn, is, again, a lot of people ask, how can we help? There's a lot of different ways you can help. But for me personally, I'm kind of curious, and what is the next step? I guess, what are the tangible next steps or goals or that this movement wants to do? Is it more of, because I want to know if I can help that way, as far as, is there anything we can help on a strategic level, or whether it's voting or so I'm assuming that at all those strategies are they listed on. Is there one main kind of website, movement, group, or is this kind of, I don't know what you call it, movement or thing, entity? Is it kind of a combination of a lot of different groups and people?
What is it, when we all come together, like we were the other day, Joe, on Sunday? There's so many groups and organizations that are coming together to do the same thing, to be in the same area. So it's just, you have to, when doing that, you just have to kind of ask around. Now, my fraternity is a whole different thing. That's something that I came from college and things like that. Omega Psi-Phi is something that I came here from college, and I had that. So it's just I pledge that, and we're pretty much doing things in the Black community and things like that. But then there's so many organizations that you can go into that are stable and staples in the community. There's different church organizations that you can be a part of that are doing the same thing in the neighborhood. I'm just not. I can't bring them to name, right now. But again, there's just so many organizations. Now, again, voting is always, finding out who your government officials are, or who your local officials are, and trying to get into office and create the change that we need to happen. That's why we're happy with Attorney General Keith Ellison being on the case. We voted him in, and he's able to, go forth and be the prosecuting attorney on this case. That's his job. That's what we gave him the job to do. And so Brother Ellison is an amazing fraternity brother, and we love that dude to death. And so we'll fight for him, and we will fight with him. So there's just so many organizations that you can get involved in. and it just is you just have to go online. Again, there's online statuses. Even to give money, if you can't give the time, you can give money to the organizations like We Love Lake Street, United Northside. There's so many that you can give to. Again, like I think I shared with you earlier, they were planning on the march on Friday. Again, the big march. I know there's been a lot of protests and marches, within the last week or so, but, the one on Sunday was the big one. It was a huge, huge one. The one on Friday is supposed to be the same content and the same amount of people on Friday, with a lot more security this time, a lot of more security detail this time, so nothing like what just happened on Sunday will happen again. So so we're just keeping watching and keeping our phones by, keeping our social media active, and just to piggyback off of something that Kalliah said, it's just so much love in the community, as far as even with musicians, trying to come together and within this pandemic. It's so hard because none of us were working. Everybody had their separate thing going on in the studios or everything. Like my studio was pretty active, and I'm sure Joe was doing some other things in inside his house, and same thing with Kalliah. So now it's like we're starting to come out and do things in the community. I know I just got a text message from a bunch of drummers that are going to get together and just play the drums for George. So I'm not sure. I think that's on the north side. I know I couldn't do it just because I know I had this, and then I have another meeting I have to go to. But I'm with those drummers that are about to go in the community and just play the drums for George. So I think I got to look at my phone if people want to go to that. Give me a quick second. It's over on the north side.
We got
Broadway
like 2 minutes left, guys. Cool.
Yeah. Broadway and Emerson at the U.S. Bank parking lot. They are playing drums right now. If people want to go, if there's anybody online that wants to go over there and just kind of hang out and watch a bunch of drummers whack at the drums, and a bunch of great drummers are over there. So if you want to go over there and hang out, you can. So that's about it.
Super,
amazing.
Super.
What was the name of the North Side
go ahead.
group you mentioned? Or as far as the
I believe it's called United North Side.
Okay.
And again, these are to help all the local residents. When you're talking, I'm thinking of the grandmothers and that food store that they need. And this is Staples, folks. This is not driving down to the long range. They need their food. They got to be able to get there. And God bless everything you're doing, Mario, Kalliah, and Joe, and everybody trying to keep everybody together in Minneapolis and share the love, because this nation, everybody's watching you guys and what you're doing. I'm so glad that everybody's safe after that truck. I saw that on TV. I've only got about 30 seconds left, so I just, again, wanted to share the love and pass it around to you, Joe, and everybody quickly. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much,
Thank
Don.
you
Thanks for
for
having us
having
on.
No problem, guys. So we'll stay in touch. I'll play this on the iHeartRadio podcast for everybody. We can do this anytime. I have an hour a day. We can do live calls, everything. And thanks for the karma, trying to help the world out there. And thanks again, and we will talk soon. Okay, everybody. God bless and stay safe. Okay. Thank you.
You as
Thanks
well.
so much.
Thanks.
Who Magoo, and I'll end it with Tommy C. Thank you. Peace.
My brother, are you talk.